guys, how's it going? It's me, Yoko from Japan. Welcome back to my channel. So for those who are new here, I'm Yoko. I'm Japanese. I was born and raised here in Japan, and I've lived all my life here in my mother country. Oh my gosh, guys, did I say it right? It's almost 11 o'clock at night here in Japan, and my brain is not functioning very well right now. So forgive me. I hope you guys can understand me. Okay, so yeah, I have to actually wake up at 5:30 a.m. tomorrow, but I still wanted to talk to you guys because I've decided to, now that for the most part, I've, established my new system, like I'm using StreamYard, and I don't have to edit anymore. I can just record this live stream thing, and then if I do it okay, then I can publicize later for you guys and so on. So yeah, it's effective. And now I can no longer make excuses. So I'll be making lots of videos, and I'll be making videos in my mother language, Japanese, and also in English, like both languages together. And what I'm thinking is that I can talk about the same thing in two different languages instead of try to spend forever to put subtitles to each one, or either one. So this is my, I'm gonna try this new style. So as you can probably, as you're probably getting the idea, I will be talking in this video. I'll be talking about what I already talked about in my Japanese video, the latest one. And what I talked about is gender equality in Japan. It's not about LGBT. I talked about the gender equality between men and women. And yeah, I actually have a list of things that I said here, like in Japanese, but it's not even in a logical order. These are just bullet points. So I'll try to tell you guys what I introduced in my video, but I don't know if it will make sense, but I will try. So just be ready, be kind, okay? And let's go. So in Japan, we are, I don't know how you see my country, but Japan is for the most part a conservative country. We believe in the different roles of males and females, and fathers and mothers have different roles, and males are good at this thing and females are better at this thing, and blah blah blah. So we are like that. However, there's the majority of us know that common sense, that we live the common sense. We enjoy being different, like men and women. We like to be different. We embrace the differences. We support each other. It's been our tradition, and it still is our culture. And however, even though the majority of us believe like that, there are actually a certain number of leftists here, like communist type of people or liberal type of people, who push the idea of gender equality, which doesn't make sense to me personally. I'm a conservative politically, but it just doesn't make sense even by common sense. The male and females have different bodies and our systems are different. So how we think or what we are good at differ, right? But there are leftists here, just like in America or Europe or elsewhere, that believe that males and females should be the same. It's crazy, in my opinion. But the problem is that, I don't know what they mean by equality. When I first heard the way of thinking, I first thought that it's about the rights in society, like human rights. I thought that it was about the rights, equality of human rights between males and females. But today, what I'm feeling is everybody, males and females, doesn't matter, everybody become the same. That's the pressure that I'm feeling. Even here in Japan, women are expected to work like men. It's happening, and because our culture is largely influenced by Western countries. There are it's an interesting thing. Like the models here are like can be a lot of the times it can be like the fashion models and so on that we look at in the commercials and so on can be white people or even black people nowadays, but it's like outsiders, like foreigners, and um, so meaning that their agenda gets here, like not only their fashion, but their fashion ways of like political thoughts get imported here as well. So that's a problem that we have. That now you guys have BLM and everything, and magazines like Elle and others, they are treating the political thoughts or political like activism or riots, whatever like that, as fashion. So it's like there's a side of me. I'm not saying that it is coming in, but it's just there. It could be, there's a route. And as for gender equality, it's been, there are leftists here that have been working so hard to push that agenda here. So there's always a portion of people that always say like, oh, those feminists, so it says like feminists are the same everywhere. Every time there's a tiny problem for women, it's like, oh, that's so sexist and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, stop, they yell to you like, oh, yell at you, like stop all this discrimination and so forth. And we're like, and it just doesn't make sense to Japanese people, because in Japan, as I said earlier, women, like we we have common sense, and that the big, I don't even know if it's different or whatever, but in Japan, women are not like in a difficult place. Japanese women are very, very spoiled. We get everything here. We can choose to work or become a full-time housewife, or we can marry a rich guy, or we can be independent if we want to, and you can live with your parents, or you can live by yourself or with your significant other, or live with your friends. Like it's all free, freedom is here. But and especially with men, like men often pay for us for like when we eat outside, and like we get like we have time of the month, right? And we like take a break at work, and of course guys will not like that, but we can do that. And yeah, things like that. Like we are accepted and we are treated very nice, but some people do complain about some tiny things that they are told by men and so forth. But but living as a female, we feel that we are treated very well, so like, and we enjoy being a female. So when feminists or LGBT type of people, like supporters, say like, oh, women in Japan are having a hard time, or they're discriminated, or that they need to be like they need to accept gender equality and so forth, there is a ranking in the world sometimes that I see, like which country has more gender equality, gender equality, top countries to the worst, and Japan is ranked like way below. And we're like, how do you actually measure that? Right? Like that has a lot to do with our culture. So you can't just see and think like, oh, just because women are not working in a society, that means that women are oppressed and that we and blah blah blah, like we're left behind or whatever. It's our choice that we are staying home and supporting our husband and so on. But somehow feminists want to think that we're just, we don't have the choice or whatever. But the problem, anyway, I'm rambling. The point that I have to make, or I already made in the Japanese video, is that when we are told, like women are actually told to work in the society today, like to get a job and work with men. And what's that's actually telling us to do, women, is to become and work like men. So right now, the system that we have is actually meant for men, right? So like, what I'm trying to say is that females have different set of set of body, right? And what happens is the laundry is done. Speaking of which, so females have different body, and what that means is that we have a different cycle, like different rhythm as a female. So we get time of the month, and then we always prepare to give a birth and so forth. And so and that's a beautiful thing. However, it comes with a lot of different things in order to make the system work. Our hormone balance changes in a month, and there are times that our brain doesn't work as good as usual, or there are times that we get sleepy, and for some women there are times that they get like a cramp. Is it called cramp? Like stomach ache and so forth, that they suffer, but they are expected to work because that's a trend. That's what the government says. So, but in reality, what's happening is that women are like, there's this pressure that women have to work, sacrificing our beautiful sacred body, like damaging our body, you know? So what happens is when women here really like we make efforts, like Japanese people, or like we're very serious as a tribe, and we work so hard, like, you know, the suicidal rate and everything, like we take everything seriously. And what happens is that for women, oh man, I'm really sad for the rest of, you know, the women here, that when women work, we get problems, you know, because it doesn't fit our body, like the way we are expected to work in the male dominant society. It doesn't work. And what we end up doing is, for example, when we get some kind of pain in the stomach and so forth because of the time of the month, we take painkillers, just like probably the same for you know, women in the world, that we take painkillers, and then we get sleepy, and then we caffeinate ourselves, we drink lots of coffee. And if you keep doing that, your natural body instinct gets all messed up, and what that leads to is the problem of your like female things down there that you do get problem because it affects your immune system, and also like basically you're changing the body down there, so it really affects your system. And I'm not an expert on this, but from what I experienced, you know, when I was working hard, I was getting the problem with my periods, like the patterns, and like, you know, it's supposed to come periodically, but it was not happening. And sometimes it would get really nasty and so like painful and so forth. And I was so suffering so much. And when I quit my job, every time I got better and so forth. But other times when I was working hard, even harder, then I even went on an ambulance once. Like that's how intense it can be. Of course, it depends on each woman. And for me personally, I worked on my health because I do have another disease, like ulcerative colitis, which I'm pretty much healed, so it's good. But along the way of healing that, I, you know, worked on my health, and it was good because it fixed me as a female as well. And my, you know, stomach, for example, doesn't hurt anymore, but I still get slow. Like right now, I'm pretty foggy in my head, believe it or not. And it's actually really hard to, you know, use my frontal cortex or whatever it's called. And so I feel like, oh, maybe I'm not doing a good job, you know, doing this right now. But what I'm trying to say is that our body doesn't fit in the, you know, male system, but the government is trying to push us there, Like they are forcing us to go there. And why? The biggest reason for Japan is because leftists here are working hard to push the idea, but the rhetoric that they use is, oh, it's because foreign countries, all the countries out there, they're so like progressed, they're so ahead of us, and that we should be like them to be equal to them. Talking about you guys. And my question is, what do you mean by countries overseas? There are so many different countries, and they're probably talking about like America and Europe. But even inside of, for example, let's say America, inside of America, there are progressive people, like extreme leftists, moderate leftists, those who are not very interested in politics, and conservatives, right wings, many different kinds of people in one country. But they are talking about like, oh, America is this and Europe is this and we should be like this. And what are they talking about, right? Like, what are we? And the next point is, why do we have to become like other countries? Like, just like male and female difference, it's beautiful, and it's what makes this world an amazing place, that we have differences, we have the diversity, and that is a beautiful thing according to liberals. But they are the ones that deny the diversity, the differences. They have such a hard time embracing all the beautiful differences that we have. And and Japanese people, like Japanese politicians especially, they say like, we should be equal to other countries. Like, we should stand there and keep up with the cultures of like Western nations. But I'm like, if you want to be truly equal politically, then stand up for yourself. Like, stand up for your country, right? Be proud of your tradition. Be proud of your country, right? And so, like, just tell other countries that, you know what, guys, this is how our country rolls. And, like, you can say, like, deal with it, And that's what our leaders are supposed to do. That's what our media is supposed to do. Like, oh, this is how Japanese people live, and that's beautiful. You should try it too, or some sort. Like, that's the direction that we are supposed to take. But they're doing the opposite. They're trying to make us into something different by copying the Western cultures. And I'm like, oh, how does that help women? This is gender equality thing is all about like empowerment of women. How does that, like, how does changing our culture, how does that make us happy? How does that help us women? Because it doesn't. It's actually pressuring us right now. For example, the trend or the pressure that I constantly feel from the society here in Japan is probably the same as other countries like Western nations as well. But, now women have to do everything. Like, women, of course, like, we are the ones that give up birth, right? And we are the ones that take care of our babies. Like, men can try too, but there's a limit. Like, we are mothers, we become mothers, right? But so there are things that men can't do. And I am so distracted because my husband is right now washing his hands, and I got distracted and I lost my train of thoughts. Oh my gosh. But yeah, women, oh God, I really hate when this happens. Sorry, guys. Yeah, women, let me remember. Hold on, give me some seconds. Yeah. Oh yeah, everything, right? So we have to do everything. So women are told to, like the government wants more babies born, right? So, but what's happening is that they make us work, they make us sick, so they make us women work, and which make us females get sick, And for that, the government says that, oh, we will give you financial aids and all this treatment to help you with that problem. And I'm like, then why do you have to make us work in the first place? You getting this? Right? Like, if you are truly trying to help us women, then why do you force us to work like men? And, right now, seriously, there's this pressure that if you're a female, so you're expected to be able to have the body to give a birth, and also and you are expected to raise your children, and also you are expected to contribute in your labor, like not in the giving birth labor, but you are expected to work and devote your time and energy economically. But then, like they are telling women to work. Why? Because the economy is bad. Then what's the problem? The economy. And who is in charge of economy? Politicians. So they're supposed to do their work and they're not doing it well, so that they're now exploiting from us women. And now we get all the burdens that we are expected to do all the family thing and all this work like men stuff, and do like get all this chemicals and force our body to work like men and still manage everything. Like, how does that work? Like, it's impossible. And yeah, it's crazy that they say that in like their face says like, oh, we are doing great things for women. No, they're torturing us, right? So like I look at my friends, like new moms that they have little babies and their kids are growing up, and all my friends are like posting the pictures of their children and showing off their cooking skills or fashion skills, and also they're working and making friends, and they are like juggling, and they're trying so hard to get validated on single thing that they are expected to do perfectly. And I'm a female, so I can just see like spiritually that they are suffering. They're feeling the pressure, and women have this interesting character. When we look at other women, we want to, like, it's a natural instinct that I don't think most female notice themselves, but I noticed that females are competitive with each other. That once let's say this girls wear something nice, then I have to wear it too. This girl cooks something good, then I have to cook better. And there's this competition. They say like, oh, I want to do like that because it's so fun. And they try to what's the word, pretend like they're enjoying, and this is like YOLO and happiness and so on. They're faking. I'm a female, I can see right through them. So they're tiring themselves out. And one of my friends actually told me like she's married and have a child and expected to, like, her Instagram looks so fun and happy, but she's like, oh, but I enjoy my time alone. That's like the best time, and she's kind of proud of that. But I'm like self-development wise, that means that, like, if you're tired, there's definitely a problem, So she is like giving herself pressure so much as a female that she's exhausting herself. And it's all due to the trend and also the pressure from the government. And that if we female cannot do everything, like both the family thing and also work in the society, then we are a failure. And that's the pressure that we have to live with right now. Like, we are living with that pressure. And I don't think it's all like it's not a matter of Japan. It's just especially in developed countries, we are having this problem that women, Europeans are kind of weird. I don't know. I can't speak about European people, but North American people have like actually Americans, especially or Canadians, like we have a similar set of minds. European people, like especially women, are even more independent than American people. Maybe I could be wrong. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. Like Europe is so different that I have no idea. Like especially because I don't have any information source there, and I haven't studied anything there, so I can't say anything. But yeah, and especially because the language is different, so I can't speak for women overseas. Like when languages are different, it changes our whole system. It affects like language, like all this when thoughts like when language is different, and that means that how our thoughts are wired is different, and it's connected to our mind, body, and yeah, everything is different. So yeah, I can't really speak for them, but I feel like this is a world phenomenon that women are trying so hard because we want to be good. Like fundamentally, like generally speaking, of females have we find joy when we devote ourselves for others, when we like we love nurturing things. We like creating the space for others to enjoy and welcoming. We are the passive power, like energy. I mean, yeah, not power, energy. So we are passive, and women are like that. So that's just, it's not a matter of us right now, but it's like generations of all the genes and spiritual things that are wired to our body right now, like today. And women just what we enjoy is when we make others happy in the way of like when we help others and so forth. And male, in my opinion, I don't know men. Like I've never been a man, so I don't know, but what I imagine is that male feel happy when they can what's the expression, like when they can protect the females and their families and so on, or when they're relied on and so on. I suppose. So it's like different, right? And what really is important, what's really important, like socially, I think, is that if you truly want women to work, then the society has to be able to accept women for who they are, like our body. Like it's okay for us to be female. Like if you can take that, then I understand the idea of making women work. But right now it's just that the government or whatever leftists, they are trying to make us men, and that just doesn't work. So I'm kind of repeating myself, but yeah. And also right now though, because of the lack of like females in the cabinet, for example, in Japan, this is a leftist or the mainstream media, every time they point out these things, but the number of Japanese minister, oh, it's so low compared to other countries, it's only 2, blah blah blah. This happens always, but women here are sick of that. Like, so like it doesn't matter to us, like, so what, like it's not like we're oppressed or whatever. And if when females have abilities, they get promoted and they become leaders, even here in Japan, and what's the problem? But the media wants to create, especially media, they want to create this story that oh, female are fighting in this male dominant society, blah blah blah. And behind that though, when I see that sort of reporting, what I feel is that, so then what are we, like like we don't what's the word, we don't deserve, like we're not good enough if we don't work like men. Like there's this trend of like women doing everything is making us feel on the back of our minds, like subconsciously, that we are not enough, and that, like, for example, being a housewife or homemaker is not cool. That it's not, it's just out of like trend. It's like you're a loser basically if you can't work at the same time. You are not enough, you lose, you fail, as I said before. So that's just, oh, it's so unhealthy. And there are females though that are extraordinary, and so we need to embrace those. And like we shouldn't expect all the women to work like men, because not everybody wants to become men. you know that yeah, some people want to do what they love to do, and that's cool. Like, expand your ability, that's what you're here for, and that's amazing. But not everybody wants to do that. Like, women like us, even myself, I love doing all this housework because I'm a female. I'm waking up to all this like feminine side of me, and I'm really loving it. I love to cook, I love to clean, I love to support my husband. And like when I make my husband happy, I'm like, oh, I'm so awesome. As a wife. When people recognize me as a great wife, I'm like, yeah. So that's where I feel happy. So, and that's okay. That's a great thing, right? That's what we are here for, to enjoy love and acceptance. But all this leftist agenda is making us really unhappy. And speaking of the cabinet members, by the way, I wanted to add something that, for example, so because the number of like female minister is low, some people say like, oh, maybe we should get a section, like we should divide, and like we need a set of numbers for both male and female members. And it's like, and so basically so pushing women who don't even have the ability in the cabinet, for example. And how does that work? That's too dangerous, right? Like, politicians have, like, they are in charge of people's lives, literally. And it's just like doctors, for example. But if you but just because women are lacking, like, just because females don't pass the exams, for example, would you get like more women just because they're lacking, even though their skills and knowledge are not enough? No, you need to pass the standards in order to get to wherever you want to go. And so if you truly want to like help women, then you need to give the time and resources to educate women. I really think education is everything. That you can't change the result. You have to like let's say there's a tree, and just because there's not enough flowers that you like, you don't get to like decorate it with other flowers. Like, if you want a great, like, a certain, like, all these flowers, beautiful flowers, and you need to give all them great soils and water and everything, and you give all the nutrition, and then so that it blooms in the right way. But like, you can't just change the result. It's just cheating. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't make people happy. So that's what we need to change, And in my country, by the way, what sucks is actually like females, as I said, are happy. We are spoiled. We are great. We're having a great time. But males have a really hard time here, actually. I think it's rather men that are suffering here in my country because females are good. Like I, for example, was depressed, since teenager. I had a heartbreak in university. Actually, it was because of an American guy. But after that, I got really depressed. And, I was on MySpace. And on MySpace, remember MySpace? Yeah, on MySpace, like suicidal people were kind of a trend. Like all these emo kids were cool back then, at least, like, like, yeah, around me. And I was one of them. And I thought I was really depressed. And with that mindset, I became an adult, started working, and because my body doesn't fit in the male-dominant society, I got sick and quit my job. Like I had like 3 or 4 jobs after I graduated from university. And then I quit after that because I can't. I just gave up. Like, oh man, like I can't work. So I lived at my parents'. And it works because I'm still good. Like I got married with my husband, and I'm having an amazing, like financially, we're really broke. So like we spend so much money on political activities. Like speaking of which, we went to Tokyo a week ago, and we're going back to Tokyo again next week or so, like for October 1st event and so forth. But yeah, I'm good because I'm a female. I didn't have to worry too much, even though my credit socially was at risk, by quitting many jobs. Like corporate people judge us, that, oh, maybe this person keeps quitting her job, so that there must be something wrong with this person. That's how people in our society think, unlike America, probably. But but I'm a female, so I can always get married and be okay. But males, I know a guy from here who is in the 20s, and he quit his amazing job after only less than a year. And now he's not employed. He doesn't have a girlfriend. He doesn't have any expertise, and he has mental situation going on, and it's unlikely that he's gonna get another job. And he's trying out his dream as well with his brother. And it's like, socially speaking, it's like like as a man, he's not trusted, socially. So I'm like, when I look at him, for example, oh my gosh, he's in trouble. How is he gonna live? Hopefully marry some independent woman and be fed by her instead of feeding her. That might work. But so like men are judged like that. So it's really tough. Males are always having this pressure that they have to be independent and that they have to always have a good job in order to, make a living for themselves, and also to, pay for their family and so on. So it's rather males that we need to think of, and so on. And also there are some feminists that overreact to all these words said to them, like some like a sexual harassment and so forth. It's like everything is a harassment now. But the funny thing is, women speak really harshly to men, like, oh, this bald guy, or this fat guy, or this stinky guy. And women talk really harshly against men all the time, and somehow only women are attacked. It's a discrimination. I'm like, how does that work? How does that feel? How is that equality, right? So yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. And leftists also always take up this gender equality thing, but the same people attack on older, like elderly people. Like, for example, as I said before, our current cabinet, the average age is 60.4, if I remember correctly. And so leftists keep saying like, oh, it's such an old cabinet, blah, blah, blah. And that's like discrimination right there. That elderly people, like, of course, we should do the politics. However, you don't have to attack all these elderly people. Elderly people have power, and that means something. That they're there because of their experiences, and they did all these things to get up there. And why don't you respect that at the same time? But they don't. So they're just using women. They say like, oh, female empowerment and so forth. But in reality, they're only using females to bring all the equality agenda, to change your culture. And by that, in order to, change our country completely into another nation. And it's not a matter of only Japan, I think. And it's happening elsewhere, I feel, and I feel like Western nations, even back in the day, there were roles, and it, of course, people back in the day fought so hard that to balance our society well. So now, thanks to the sacrifices of the past, now females are free in like developed countries, and we get to say whatever we want. We can wear whatever we want, and we can live in whatever way possible. So it's, yeah, why do you complain to that? So I don't actually, sorry, this is not logical at all. Like, I wanted to prepare better for this video, but yeah, males and females are different, and embrace that. That's the biggest thing that I want to say. And I really want women like myself, women out there. I want women to live like women. What we need to focus on rather is not about like, I don't want people to make us females become like men. I want people to focus on the wonderful side of being a female. The female is capable of many, many amazing things, that we have a lot of gifts, and we know how amazing guys are, like males. I really respect males because they think differently, and they're so much better at all the things that I'm curious about and so on, and that's cool. But at the same time, I'm realizing that I should embrace like what I'm capable of, which men can't do. And that's something that I want to hear more, so that's something like, that's how we bring equality, finding out what's great about each other and what we can do, like how we can cooperate. That creates the equality in our living. And our bodies, though, or how we think, will not be equal because we're different. And that's a great thing about this world. So that's how I'm gonna summarize this video. I think, did I say everything? Let me check. Yeah, like, I just don't want people to steal the opportunity for us to become female, yeah. Women be women, men be men. Yep. I think I said almost everything, so I feel like I could have, prepared better for this video. Man, I've been talking for like 44 minutes. Oh my gosh, sorry guys for this long video. But yeah, that's what I've been thinking. And if I come up with a better way to explain to you guys, I will do that. Like, I will make many more videos depending on your requests. So let me know. Okay, I want to talk more, but really I need to go to bed. So yes, 11:30 or past 11:30. So before I go though, I'm on Patreon, and these are my amazing patrons. Yay! Special thanks to you all. Patreon, please check it out. And this is what I do for a living. So if you can support me, that would be great. And what else? I think I'm good. Right? Okay. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, because that helps the algorithm. And I'm on Twitter at Random Yoko, so please follow me there. Okay, I'm always there, so you can talk to me anytime. I'm pretty responsive, I think. At least, even if I don't write replies, I heart it. I'm really reading. Okay, so yeah, man, my makeup is like, oh, I need to get ready for bed. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you soon. Okay, so have a great day. Okay.